got one or two little things we need to do before we can start the engine, because if you look behind you, then the engine is out of the water. So we need to put the engine down. So if you'd like to take that little button there, and if we make sure that we have sufficient water behind us, underneath us, which we have got 2.2 meters of water as depth, then if you press that down button and look at the engine as it goes down. I'll tell you when to stop. That's lovely, thank you. Would you like to wind the steering wheel from one lock to the next? So go right the way around till it stops. And once it's stopped, count the number of turns back the other way. Okay, that's 4 turns on that one. If you go back 2 turns, then you're going to be central. That's it. And if you look at the engine now, you can see it's square. Well, before we fire the engine up, we need to look at how we obtain gears. It's a lot easier to do that when the engine's not running to start with. So if you take the gear lever, and you'll see that you've got a forward position and you've got a reverse position here. But if you actually waggle it backwards and forwards as it is, you'll find it's locked in place. Yes? Okay, great. To free it off then, you're going to have to squeeze the button underneath. And if you squeeze the button now and push it forwards, okay, get your finger off the button, you're in forward gear now. If you push it forward a lot further, you'll get acceleration. Hold it there a second, and push it forward even further, then that will be flat out, but you don't need to touch the button. You only get the button to get the gear. Now that's flat out, so now drag it back to neutral, keep your hand off the button and drag it all the way back to neutral so it clicks. It's that click I'm always waiting for, because that's neutral. If you go to reverse, squeeze the button again and then go into reverse, that's it. Get your finger off the button and push it back up into neutral. Brilliant. So that's your gear shift. Now, every time the engine switched off and restarted, we do a prop check. And the reason being is that we're checking to make sure there's no rubbish around the back of the boat, there's no lumps of wood, ropes, you have sufficient depth, because if the water's clear you can see the bottom, and there's no people swimming around the back of the boat. And that's absolutely fine, that's clear, clean. All right, so we're ready to start. We've done the checks on the engine, they're fine, we've got clear water. Turn the key one stage to the right, that brings ignition on. Got my sound signals, now turn again and it will fire. That's it, just like starting a car. And then you're back to checking you've got water coming out the engine. It's really, really important that we have this cord attached to us. The best place for it is around the leg, tight around the top part of your leg. And it's referred to as a safety cord, or in this country we use the expression the kill cord, because if you come away from the engine at all, or you come away from the controls at all, that comes off and the engine dies. The gears, it's a crash gearbox. So just watch what I'm going to do, because I'm just going to go into forward gear. I've got to squeeze the white button and then into neutral just to check I've got forward gear, and do the same going astern, back into neutral. So I know the gearbox is working, so I've virtually gone through all the checks. Now, if you're too slow with this, it makes this noise, because you're actually sitting on the teeth, and we need to mesh that gearbox quickly. So always be positive when you go into gear and back into neutral, and always pause in neutral before you go into reverse, and the same before you go into forward gear. We've done the steering check, we've done the kill cord check, we know the engine's running, we've done the water check, and we've done the gear check.